What's going on, Prep Fam? In today's video, we're gonna be talking about a hotly debated topic in the screen printing industry, pushing or pulling the squeegee on a manual t-shirt printing press. My opinion on this topic is completely open to the possibilities. And as far as the technique, I have traditionally pulled the squeegee. It's the way I learned how to do it from the start. There's a lot of old school printers that say it's the only way you should pull a squeegee. I have noticed a bit of a trend in recent years for like the newer screen. Shh. And most people, dude, this dog, the squeaking in the background is my puppy. Just deal with it. The newer generation of manual printers, I'm finding more and more of them are pushing the squeegee. So today I'm gonna test both methods and see if there's enough of a difference to recommend pushing versus pulling. I wanna see what the outcome is with both. Don't know what the results can be. Gigi, please. Olive, what's she doing? Is she squeaking? Can I please have my squeaker? Okay, bring it back. Good job, Gigi. Now to test this process, I don't know that I need to explain it, but I'm gonna explain it anyway. We have an 18 by 20 inch frame. The mesh is a 110 mesh, and we are going to be using a 70 durometer squeegee. And the ink I'm gonna be testing today is Amazing Bright White from Poly1's Wilflex. So that's a good baseline to start with. As far as the garments we're testing, I have a bunch of scraps here. They've been printed and tested and used and abused. And I am conducting the test on my $30 press, a link in the corner to a video to show you how to make this press if you're just getting started. I'm gonna apply some adhesive to my palette here. All right, and we're gonna start with our pull, do a nice flood, decent angle, not very hard of pressure, and I'm just doing my first pass. There we go, I mostly cleared that, but I'm gonna do a second pass just to make sure it's cleared. And I do a little snap at the end. The screen is clear, no plastisol dots in any of the openings. And that's our first hit. Now I'm bringing my flash over, and this is very unorthodox. You're not gonna do it this way. This flash is set up for live printing, so this is just the way I'm doing it. But you'll have your flash about right here, and you'll just swing it right on over. This just isn't set up to do that. So I'm gonna have to flash a little bit longer because my palettes aren't up to temp yet. And I'm just giving it a touch test. It feels good. I may have even over flashed that. You want to be real careful with how long you're flashing. So you're just trying to do a gel on the flash. Now we're going to do another flood stroke. This is a habit I have. I don't know. You don't have to do this. And then we're just going to do one pass, decent pressure, good solid angle. On the second hit, you only need to do one pull. You don't have to do the double pull to clear the screen like you did on the first one, because you've already laid down a base of plastisol for this next overprint to adhere to. A little fibrillation, that's probably because I over flashed it a bit too much. I'm gonna yank it off my platen here, throw it on my flash to cure. And what I'm actually doing is swinging this over, and I'm just gonna kinda use my heat gun to test. I'm just trying to get to 320. I mean, we're coming up pretty close on it right there. So as long as you get this to 320, maybe let it sit for 3 to 5 seconds and you should be good to go. The big thing with plastisol, again, is not over curing. If you over cure it, you allow the fibers to push through the surface of the plastisol, and it gives a much more prominent fibrillation effect. We're printing this through a 110, which, I do feel like in the manual world, that is the standard mesh count for white, especially if you're doing the pull with the squeegee, because when you start stepping up to like a 155 or a 200, dude, the labor involved is just, it's traumatic. Maybe in a future video, we'll test the push versus the pull on like a higher mesh screen. That a 110 is not ideal for printing white when you're trying to get the thinnest hand possible. It just won't be, it's gonna be a thicker print. Now it is time for me to tackle the push. Again, I'm not as experienced at this, so I may be doing a few things wrong, but we're gonna start with the flood. I'm just filling the openings of that mesh. I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm just coating the top of the mesh with ink. I'm not using any downward pressure trying to fill the openings. This is weird for me all the way around. And I'm just doing I guess just kind of decent downward pressure. And I'm gonna do one more just to clear the mesh. Let's do a clearing check. Mesh is cleared, so that's good. The one thing I'm noticing is it doesn't feel like the squeegee is able to work its way into the crevices. Like, let's say for instance, the palette's a little unlevel. With the pull, as you're pushing down, the squeegee is able to work its way into the nooks and crannies, anything that's uneven. With the push, it doesn't feel like it's able to do that as much. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm noticing over here, even on the second pass, I wasn't quite able to clear that corner, so I got to do a third pass. So I have to do another one, and I'm making sure to put a little more. All right, I was able to clear it on the third one. So it's just, you know, these pallets aren't super even either, so it's good. All right, throw a little flash action. About 7 seconds, feels about right to me. Letting it cool. And we're gonna do a flood again while I'm lifting the screen. This is a weird habit I have. I do see a lot of printers that are able to do the flood with the screen indexed. I don't know, I've always lifted it. It's an old habit. And dude, I can't even get the angle right with this. Okay. And one push to clear it. And there we go. Let's throw this thing on the curing station here. Swing this around a little bit. I think I overflashed that one. So we got 2 to compare here. Oh, hey, did you guys hit the like button yet? Please do me a favor and hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, and you'll be my best friend. Okay, let's get back to work. This is the push, this was the pull. Now, first things first, and you're not gonna be able to feel this, but surprisingly enough, the push has less of a fibrillation feel, so it feels a little less like suede than the pull. Now that could be because I overflashed this one. I may have cured it a little too long and I flashed this one a little bit shorter. That could be why that's happening. Now as far as the print quality, it's exactly the same in this scenario. I do feel like I almost want to test it on a 150. You know, so that way we can get an even thinner print. But my verdict on this one is that the push and the pull are almost identical in the situation where you're printing white through a 110. All right, well, final conclusions, push versus pull. Under certain circumstances, you're gonna need to use the pull, but for the majority of jobs, man, and this is weird, I've pulled the squeegee my whole life, so this is strange to say. And there's always going to be some backlash from this, especially with old school printers. Again, there are certain circumstances where you need to pull the squeegee. But overall, go with the push stroke. The push stroke is less fatiguing on your body. And if you're less fatigued at the end of the day, the process of screen printing will be more fun for you. There in turn, you're not as likely to quit. You're not as likely to dread jobs that you have to do. And the process is ultimately more enjoyable. Utilize the push stroke to save you in the long run, and you'll enjoy screen printing much more. And one more thing, I'm officially on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Cam, EARVEN, to get 2 video podcasts and 2 behind-the-scene vlogs similar to what I used to do, exclusively for Patreon members. I'm no longer doing the video podcast on YouTube. I'm no longer uploading daily vlogs or vlogs to YouTube. All that content transitioning exclusively to the people that are supporting me through the Patreon, to the people that become patrons. Even if you don't care about the vlogs or you don't care about the podcast, it's also just saying thanks to all of the previous content that we've done and that we've done in the past. So thank you guys so much. You know you're the best print fam. See you in the next one. Hey, peace out. These two want to say thank you. Say thanks, Olive. Say thanks, Gage. Thanks for your support.